Well, there we go. What another podium. And Royce Baker's just learned a very important lesson in life. Fizzy drinks are very, very sticky when you get them in your eye. And talking about international event, there is our 792 Kart for the next lap. That's Brody Yendall from Australia. And this is an international broadcast with an international audience. And I just want to say a quick hello. I want to say Shamai to Donna Edwards watching from my home nation back in Wales. And all right, to Danielle and Claudia Short. Danielle, the race secretary of the British Kart Championship, who is keeping an eagle eye on all her drivers there, both her and Claudia working in karting in the Motorsport UK British Kart Championship. Hello to you all. I will see you all very, very soon. I thought about doing this next part because I've got people watching back in my home country of Wales, especially Don Rose. I thought I might do the next bit in Welsh. How about that, Mike? No, I'm joking. I wouldn't bestow that upon anybody. Here we go. Let's look at the next race. We're now into the second half of Super Sunday. It's going to be X30 Junior. And look at that, the number 736 Kart. Earlier on, we had, the KA 100 junior class. This is where we're going to see several drivers doing double duty, including that one, Turner Brown there. There's the 712 Kart. That's Charlie Smith. He's got Matt Cooley there from Strawberry Racing in the UK on the spanners, and Charlie has been going very well for the Nash Motorsport team. The number 715 Kart there, that's Augustus Torniolo, the driver from Wildwood in the US. Not quite sure what state it is, but Wildwood, possibly California, I'm not quite sure. 733, that's Stephen Miller. We saw him earlier on, the Nash Motorsport driver from St. Petersburg, Florida. People come from far and wide. Oh, there's one you're not going to miss. That is the 706 Kart, Dutchman, Sascha van Pambosch, the Race Lab kart from Amersfoort in the Netherlands. Drivers from all over. We've even got someone there based at Arif Kapadia Basu, born in India, now based out in Portland, Oregon in this race. There's the number 724 Kart, Nix Eggleston, Ruthless Karting, Scottsdale, Arizona-based driver. He had a pushback bumper in his earlier race, so redemption is on the mind for the driver with the flames on his crash helmet. The number 703, that's Jackson Walney, the Rollis. Well, it sounds like that's a speed concept kart entry if ever I saw one. On my interest is Rollis and Performance Group. I do know that he's from Glen Allen, Illinois. And there's the number 704, another of the Nash Motorsport. Good to see Tito and Elio both in the paddock here from Nash Motorsport from Los Angeles, California. Alexander Gonzalez, the 748. Looking back there, we saw him earlier. Diego Guillo, a bit of bad luck earlier on. The driver originally from Mexico, now living in Houston, Texas. The 745 Kart, Truly Adams, the factory kart, that's American-built chassis, Billy Musgrave's team in California, and Truly from Riverside. He will be starting there. He had a bit of bad luck in his earlier race as well. Sarah Bradley, the Speed Concepts driver, based out of another driver from Wildwood. Well, because she could put on a show for us here. The 7-Eleven, that's my favorite store, 7-Eleven. But on this race, it's Alexander Jacoby, the Team U-Race kart. He's from Washington, D.C. And the number 798 kart, Oliver Weldon. There, he's got a lot of the Gainbridge-backed Lando Norris chassis. Got a huge following here as Oliver. I think that's maybe his broski there on his wheel arch there as well. So Oliver Weldon, the 794. That is Alexander Vonchev, the Zanella Racing driver out of Florida. He's got DHL sponsorship. Can he mail forward a victory here today? The Villeneuve chassis of number 737, Ty Fisher for the Race Lab driver. That's a TB kart in disguise, that one is. Say the stage is set, Mike. Well, we do need the Don't Sleep energy drink, but there's no chance of any of us dozing off here because the racing has been absolutely superb. This is race number 6 out of 9. After this, we got Master Shifter, then the two main events, X30 Senior and Pro Shifter, but every single final so far has been a main event in itself.
Indeed, 100 cc's and the cadets in the books. Everything from here on out is going to be 125, starting with the X30 Juniors. The Juniors getting ready to roll out here. Again, as you say, the shifters will go later. with the Masters, and then, of course, X30 Pro and Pro Shifter going, all 125s. A couple little notes about these. If you're watching at home and you haven't seen these things before, these drivers have rev limiters at the end, so we see things a little bit closer and not as much at the end of the straightaway. But now let's take a look at the grid.
Here's your full starting lineup. In all Rollison Performance Group Row 1, Brody Yendel and Diego Ardiles. Turner Brown and Charlie Smith go from row number 2. Stephen Miller, Smith's Nash Motorsport teammates, and Augustus Toniolo in a third RPG Kart share row number 3. Dutchman Sasha van Pambosch and Nix Eggleston go on row number 4. Alexander Gonzalez and Jackson Walney, the third and fourth representatives respectively from Nash and RPG on row number 5. Diego Guillo for Super Tune USA and Factory Karts, Trudy Adams on row number 6. Then it's Sarah Bradley, Alexander Jacobi, Alexander Vonchev and Oliver Weld in the top 16. The top 20 rounded out by Ty Fisher, Canada's Antoine Lemieux, Amador Martinez and Pierce Wade for the PSL karting team. Row number 11 on another packed grid. Archer Eversman recovering hopefully from an accident earlier on. Levi Sanghera, now based in London, UK, on the outside of row 11. Giovanni Santora on the Comp Kart chassis. He goes from row 12 alongside Gavin Witt. Arif Kapadia Basu and Chase Gassio Lee. Double barrel names everywhere on row number 13 alongside Grayson Thorpe Double, Alan Bonilla, then another fast Canadian. Watch out for the fast rising Nathan Dupuy in kart 789 alongside Felipe Benito, Frederic Lemieux and Christian Cameron share row number 16, followed by Peyton Westcott, Max Whalen, Sidney Castles, Alexander Chartier, Mateus Romalo, Stefano Tinacios, Gian Matteo Russo and Gavin Wardle. That's your top 40, and still they come. It's Alex Mercado starting nearly shotgun the field. Row 21, the two-speed concept team in Mercado and Burnett. Watch them. They should make lots of progress. Sebastian Rist from Maranello Kart. He rounds out the field. The driver from Baltimore, Maryland. They're in the tram lines. And Rob Howden, we are about to go racing one more time in Junior X30.
Yeah, let's look at this. And we've seen a lot of times throughout this day where we've had like kind of one team locking out the front row. We saw it with the Benix. This time it's the Rollison Performance Group drivers working their way down in to go green flag racing. And again, we'll get everything into position and get them rolling here right now. And again, green racing into turn number 1. How's it look coming to the inside of the corner? Thus far clean. Couple of drivers climbing over top, 2 or 3 together further back, but otherwise the driver's able to continue on and race down to turn number 3.
Yeah, Santora was one of those drivers on the outside that just got caught up. They're all still running, however, as the leaders go through. Brody Yendel and the Rollison Performance teammate there, Ardiles, in second position. Of course, we have lost Enzo Vidmontien from this race. He would have been out there, but we're one driver down. Still plenty of action, though, and that looks like Turner Brown in third position.
And indeed, drivers settling in to begin this opening lap. Brody Yendel up front alongside Diego Ardiles, the 2 RPG drivers who locked out the front row for the main. They're going to try to see if they can't stretch away. Right behind them, Turner Brown, as we know. Little gap back to the 712 of Charlie Smith. Augustus Toniolo up in there. Then Podbosh. Then we've got Eggleston, Gonzalez, Wolney, and Miller.
Another move right here. That's going to be Brown making a move to P2. And actually the previous slide, that bright green of Von Podbosh. Huge move down the inside, probably took 2 or 3 at once down to the inside. Big moves early is when you can make it happen, but now we're starting to settle in. We got a long way to go.
Yeah, the Flying Dutchman, Sasha van Pabbosch, into the top 6. Nix Eggleston. Talked about earlier, Rob, that a lot of these drivers, there's some redemption here. They were in the KA Junior 100 race earlier. This is their second shot at glory.
That's it.
And so the drivers that did well in that race, they're fired up. The drivers that didn't do well are maybe sort of like, a bit more tentative. They say, we got to get something out of today. Got to get something. But it's RPG 1, 3, and 4. That Speed Concepts kart of Turner Brown settling in P2. The rest of the field following on behind. It's been a relatively clean start there, and we've got another lead change.
Yeah, Turner Brown makes a move to the inside of turn number 3 to take that spot away from Brody Yendel. And again, they're the RPG drivers now 2, 3, 4, but again, great run here for Turner Brown. We've seen so much out of that young driver over the season here. A couple of a Pro Tour victory early in the year. Man, he is digging up front right now. And again, like you said too, the opportunity to already been on the racetrack once here today, right? Not everybody doing double duty, but Mike, it's a good thing if you're able to come back because you understand what the track is like here on a Sunday.
Absolutely. I mean, especially if we're talking about maybe some moves that you tried, it didn't work, or vice versa, and how you were actually racing. It's so much nicer to go into this thing and having done it before, because those nerves of that start, I don't know what to expect. Well, you've done it once already today, and you got it out of the way.
I mean, looky there. So obviously you've got some of the big names, Speed Concepts and RPG, running up at the front there. There aren't that many TB karts here from the Race Lab team, but and there is that's an unofficial Las Vegas parking garage there at turn number 1. The number 719 kart of Christian Cameron is out of the race here. But I've got to say, in the races that we have got TB karts in, every single one, they're up at the sharp end. That chassis is working very well.
Yeah, indeed. The Race Lab team that is the TB kart importer and distributor here in North America has been working hard throughout the year. They got a bunch of Europeans they brought over, a chassis showing what it's worth here. And there's another move to the inside. We got a couple of drivers up front. Ardiles and Yendel both go back, so Brown gets shuffled back into third.
Not for long, because there goes the RPG fight amongst themselves. It's Yendel and Ardiles going back and forth. This time Ardiles retains the top spot with Brown third. Fourth now with Von Pobosch going. Von Pobosch's been the fastest of the group, been rolling forward and been making big moves. I think down in turn number 1, you're going to see another one.
Potentially getting into the groove there right now. Back up front again, we saw the fact that Diego Ardiles in the 797 made that move. Brody Yendel right there with him. They are lined up nicely. They'd love to have Augustus Toniolo come up there and be part of it as well. They got those 3 RPG drivers in the lead group. And of course, we had a Speed Concepts Racing, Red Speed, and the Race Lab TB kart of Ben Podbosh. So some good racing out front, but it's about a second back, guys, to Charlie Smith, Alexander Gonzalez, another SCR driver in Jackson Wolney. We're starting to get that little gap that we've seen in all the races so far today.
Yeah, don't count Toniolo out in 5th position, but the more they battle, the closer that the next group will get. There's a couple of Nash Motorsport karts, Smith and Gonzalez lurking in the background there. 6th and 7th, Walney, Eggleston, Miller, Jacoby, Oliver Weldon in 12th position rather, and there's a big gap back. I think you've got, count them through, there's about 12 karts there, Weldon in 12th, 13 karts, because you've got the U-Race entry behind them. Then you've got the first big gap.
Well, and the gap continues to grow. In third place is Brown and Von Pobosch keep going back and forth. That allows the RPG teammates to get away, and it just keeps going. Look, the fight continues here. 3rd, 4th, 5th, bring on 6th. It just keeps growing back there. Meanwhile, the top 2 are getting away.
Mike, I know it's super early, right? We're working lap number 7 right now. But yeah, if you're a Turner Brown, you're in the middle of the scrap while you're early in this race, all of a sudden we're going side by side, and I'm watching these 2 pink and purple karts up front starting to stretch away, pull off into the distance. That is not what anybody wants. Again, look, a little look there. Actually, I believe Brown looked over, and I think Toniolo was like, come on, we got to work together. I know they're your team and everything, but we got to be smart, because they're starting to pull away.
The good news for Von Pobosch, got the job done and a little bit of distance from Brown. Now actually able to take fast lines instead of having to cover. Von Pobosch will have first opportunity to try to gain the top 2.
It's brought Charlie Smith back in the fight as well, too, in the tail of the top 5.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, Oliver Weldon just sets the fastest lap of the race in 10th position. 3.5 seconds cover the top 10. Running lap number 8, a 46.559 for Weldon. But I mean, we've already had 1 Australian winner today in KA Masters. Brody Yendel trying to make it 2 Australian victories on the day here at SuperNats 26. Think about Turner Brown. Turner Brown, he's already had 1 win taken away from him today.
Yeah.
What's going to be going through his mind? He has got to have that, we mentioned the Spinal Tap reference, aggression level, determination up to 11, but he's not got track position, and those 2 RPG karts, Diego Ardiles, born in Costa Rica, now based out of Doral, Florida, and his teammate Brody Yendel, if anyone's going to catch them, they're going to have to do it on sheer pace alone, not because the 2 leaders battle and trip over one another.
That's it, and the front guys are doing what they need to do, right, Mike? They're nose to tail. that's a thing for Yendel. Listen, sitting second all day long, that's going to be the battle for the race win anyways. So just sit in P2 and keep pulling away. 1.1 seconds was a gap last time by. They'll come across the stripe here. They put lap number 10 in the book, still 1.1. So everybody up front, the top 4 drivers, all laying down 46.7s.
Hey, good news, personal best. We're going good. All right, cool. We got a good ride. Bad news, so does everybody else. The gap stays exactly the same. And we saw how good Yendel is in the race. Like, he can go racing. He can make moves. He's being patient right now and rolling. You can see that carrying that little bit wider line that allows to get that shove off the exit. Yendel just biding the time and may have a spot later on.
Last time by, looking at that speed from Weldon, very similar lap times to that of Nick Eggleston, but a bit quicker than Charlie Smith. He had gone to P5 for a second, but Smith getting roughed up a little bit, I think, and moved back. Jackson Wolney, I think, was able to slide by him. So we've got ourselves a pretty good battle outside that top 4 with Ardiles and Yendel out to a 1 second lead. Then, of course, Brown and Fed Podbosh lined up. Then it's Tony Yolo. Tony Yolo is about a second behind, but he's only got 3/10 right now, which means essentially nothing here now on the 703 of Jackson Wolney.
So Van Padbosch in 3rd, Brown in 4th, Toniolo in 5th, and Wolney in 6th were all quicker on that last lap than Ardiles and Yendel. So it is being done on sheer pace. There comes Van Amersfoort's, Zascha Van Padbosch and Turner Brown. They're closing in. They're working together. The 2 leaders are working together, but the 2 Rollison karts, they just don't have the straight line speed at the moment.
Well, now we're just into the second half of the race, right? Now we're going to see where are the tire pressures, and there it is. Green laps, 46.7, 46.7 of our top 2, but 46.6, 46.5. The lead is getting trimmed down by about a 10th a lap.
But we got to see which drivers continue to go faster, right? We remember all the data from Rawls, and we already talked about the fact that they finished 1-2 in the KA 100 Masters. You don't think that Ben Cooper came back and said, okay, here's what we got to do, guys.
Yep.
This is what the car did over this length. This is what we need to do tire pressure-wise. So, indeed, interesting to see whether or not how much they were able to gain from the success they've already had today.
And keep an eye on Oliver Weldon, not in the immediate conversation in the front, but right in that group fighting for the final podium spot. And there it is. Oliver Weldon makes the move in turn number 9, back-to-back fastest laps of the race. He is moving. Fastest driver on the course right now and going forward.
Listen, and coming across the line, only 3.6 seconds back in total. He's going to try to close up now on Augustus Toniolo. They're dying set, though. He lost a couple spots there. Look who just dove in there. That is Nick Eggleston and Jackson Wolney down into turn number 1. It looked like Weldon was potentially ready to try to chase down the top 5, but that battle, 6, right here, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Great pickup for the kart chaser Cameron, the production. Those are the drivers who are having a heck of a scrap right now. One of those guys could potentially be on the podium P5.
Yeah, indeed. You've got Smith at the back of this group in the first of those metallic blue Nash Motorsport karts. His teammate Stephen Miller is next in P10. Jacoby runs in 11th. We're now on to lap number 14. The lap times have dropped off a little bit, but it's a 46.8 for Ardiles, a 7 for Yendel, a 6 for Van Padbosch. Every single lap the Dutchman closes in, and he's chasing now a new second place driver because we got a new leader.
I think that was the back one. That was still Yendel into the second spot, but how much are they closing down? What's the gap now between second and third? 0.8 of a second. Last time by, it's been about a 10th every lap.
And it's going to trim a little bit more because what I was looking at there out of turn number 1, a slight, very slight mistake out of the leader, a little bit of a wide arc, and not what they want on the exit. We'll see as they come around this time by and see what that new gap is, but I got a feeling it's going to be a little bit smaller.
Yeah, it looks like he's a lot closer. You can see them behind there, the Zascha Van Padbosch. And I'm telling you right now, pretty soon, they're going to be getting kind of into that draft range where they're going to get a little bit more of the help coming up the straightaway. You got to be decently close. It's not like driving an Indy car down a straightaway, but there is an opportunity to potentially get close enough that draft will come into play, even if ever so slightly.
And remember what Brown did earlier, that wide move, undercut, knows how to make it happen from third or even further back. Those two drivers get in the conversation here. We got 5 or so laps coming. It's going to be real good in about 4 karts in the game.
That's it. Laps winding down. Now we're getting into the final quarter of the race, and indeed it'll be 5 to go when they come back around. The two RPG drivers have run nicely together right now. Ardila is almost pulling away a little bit here, coming through turn number 9, but you know that draft is going to bring Yendel right back up on top of him again.
I mean, just behind the top 11, Alexander Gonzalez in 12th. Alex Mercado up 28 positions to 13th.
Wow.
Ty Fisher, Nathan Dupuy up into the top 15. Vonchev, Bradley, Eversman, Adams, and Amador Martinez round out your top 20 at the moment as we enter the final quarter of this thrilling race.
Third and fourth closing up just enough that if we start a last lap battle, that could bring Van Podbosh and Brown back into the conversation. That's what's happening right now. Everything lining up nicely. Again, Diego Ardiles, though, he's the driver in the catbird seat right now. Pulling away just a bit from Yendel. Yendel uses that draft to close right back up. With the top 4 drivers, throw a blanket over them. Less than 9/10 of a second for the top 4.
Turner Brown, we saw the same tactics from in his first race. Sitting, waiting, working, keeping his eyes on the prize. He's doing exactly what he did in KA 100 Junior. He's not battling, he's following, he's just helping Van Podbosh. And now the gap is 2 kart lengths. Make it 1 kart length, make it nothing.
You get that close, you can start using them as your gauge on the left foot. When you get within about 5, 6, 8 kart lengths, now you can see how deep are they going. I'll go a little bit deeper, and even better, Van Podbosh, nobody in front can go really deep. Meanwhile, Yendel has to check, has to stay off of the leader Ardiles, and that's going to take away from that braking power. 3
laps remaining in X30 Junior. This category brought to you by Speed Lab Racing Engines, and we have ourselves a scrap. It looked like it was going to move into a 2x2. Here's a move to the inside. Here comes Yendel. Book it. He's through. Brody Yendel goes up front. The Aussie takes over the lead. That is going to bring him back. But Podbosh all the way down to the bottom. Contact, and here comes Turner Brown. Turner Brown trying to go around the outside, and he will lead. But they're working back in here again. Diego Ardiles right there. Turner Brown takes full advantage of Van Podbosh. An early dive bomb move into turn number 3, Mike.
Turner Brown's got a bingo sheet. How many people can I pass at once? Right there was 3. Already did 2. Think he did 5 earlier. Turner Brown to the front and rolling.
This is the race he wants to win. X30 Junior. Will we get a recovery here from Diego Ardiles?
Oh.
Are we done? I think not.
I think not indeed. Meanwhile, Oliver Weldon moves into P5. He's on the podium. Can he pick up any more scraps? The front 4 are 3 seconds up the road. Brown, Ardiles, Van Podbosh, and Yendel. Brown's going to have to make the rear end of that speed concept cards very, very wide indeed. Watch the cut under now from Ardiles. No, Brown still has it into 5 and 6.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Final time around here till we get that white flag. Let's see what happens for a cover down the inside. Indeed, a tough run down to the bottom for Brown. Big ride arcing from Yendel in the back. He'll get a good run out of the corner. Brown will look over his shoulder. Stack him and pack him for lap number 19. This is it. Into lap number 20. Final circuit. They'll work their way down to turn number 1. Big outside run for Ardiles. That's not going to work. He gets moved around. Yendel makes the move now into 3rd. Can he get back by Van Podbosh on the TB kart right there? But Turner Brown covers the bottom. Here come the RPG drivers. It's all likely going to come down to turn number 9. Brown leading for SCR. Can he bring it home? Checo pushing hard. He works his way through 5 and 6. This is the last run in. You know they're going to cover. Do we see an over-under coming out from potentially Ardiles? Down to the bottom. Here comes a big run. Here goes Yendel to the bottom. Nobody's going to do it. And the run to the line, the winner is Turner Brown. Turner Brown wins in X30 Junior. And the elation of the victory. What one robbed from him last year, he has got the win he wanted. Turner Brown winning in X30 Junior. Sasha Van Podbosh in 2nd. Brody Yendel 3rd. Diego Ardiles 4th. Unofficially, Oliver Weldon up 11 spots to go to P5. 1.1 second for the top 5. 0.6 of a second cover. The front-running quartet. Turner Brown wins in X30 Junior.
Made the best of a good situation for the pass, but you know what was the most impressive, I think? The couple laps after and the lines being taken by Brown. Perfect offensive defense where they try to put yourself in the right spot where they can't get you. Brown, perfectly done.
What do we always say? Fourth place probably isn't where you need to be on the final couple laps if you want to win the race. Have a look at this replay as Podbosh made the move to the inside in turn number 3. Watch this. We're only think about 3 wide. Look at Brown. Way wide, late on the apex. Hello, race win. Came back across the bow, and he leads it coming out of turn number 4.
And look at that. Does not go for the apex in turn number 4. Leaves it open enough to be able to carry the outside. Absolutely perfectly done by Brown.
Man, what a day it's been so far. Some tremendous racing on this fantastic 9-turn racetrack. And again, a well-deserved victory for Turner Brown. What do you think about that, Henry? That was a battle.
Wild by name, wild by nature. Turner Brown, I think that is redemption there, and he knows he has done himself. But you said about he didn't take the apex. He didn't want to run the risk of getting sideswiped there because he knew there was going to be drivers coming at the inside. So he had the foresight to stay wide. He had the confidence in the kart to stay wide and not run out. He's crossed the line twice in front in a single day. And he's going to keep, well, we think he's going to, hope he's going to keep one of them. But I mean, it's very rare at SuperNats that you win 2 classes in one day. Turner Brown, well, he's crossed the line first, twice in one day. An occasion that has only, I believe, happened twice in the previous 25 years of this event. And again, we've, 0.6 of a second covering your top 4. Mini Swifty, your heart's out.
Indeed, we've got the official results. Turner Brown with the win. Brody Yendel in second. Diego Ardiles third. Oliver Weldon fourth. And Sasha Van Podbosh put down into the 5th position. So I'm not sure if there's a pushback or what it may be.
Well,
but a potential penalty.
I think we saw in the replay the move that Turner Brown did round the outside. It was triggered when Van Podbosh went up the inside, up onto the curb, and sort of into the side of the 2 Rollerson Performance group karts. And, this was, I think that would have been the injury. Not a pushback bumper, but, I could see David Land there. Turner Brown is smiling as well. He might. There is one of the RPG drivers. It's been a good day for Australia. That'll be a win and a second for the Aussies. Makes up the fact they were rubbish at rugby in the World Cup. Sorry, can't help that. Welshman in the house. Wow, what a result. Eggleston in 6th on the road. Toniolo 7th. Miller 8th. Walney 9th. Charlie Smith is 10th. And it's Jacoby in 11th. Then Dupuis up 17 places. Mercado up 27 places to what was eventually 14th. And I think David Land is going to have a little chat with a very, very happy Turner Brown.
Yeah, Turner, awesome win, redemption from last year. You are so happy. You've been celebrating so much. What are you feeling right now?
Yeah, it's amazing to go from getting the win last year to getting it taken away. But this year, I mean, both finals, not yet. We still got to go through tech, but both finals on track, winning both classes in my rookie year of junior. It's been totally amazing, and I just can't believe it. I have a loss for words.
Talk about that battle on track, because that was so exciting, you taking the lead there in the last couple of laps. How'd you do it?
Yeah, I saw them go 3 wide, and I was like, okay, this is time. And then Diego, he stuck a nose on me in turn 5 over there, and I just thought, hold it on the outside and pray.
Hold it on the outside and pray. Turner Brown is a SuperNationals champion. He can hear you.
Well, what a race. I have to say, SuperNats 26 is living up to the billing. We're joined by Mr. Kart Chase himself, Xander Clemens. Xander, you've been, you've been obviously, you're responsible, you and Trevor are responsible for putting on this coverage that we're receiving today that's getting so many rave reviews, but on track itself, they're doing it for you on the track.
there's nothing more you can ask, right, for must-see TV. This is incredible. And how about that? Turner Brown, his nickname is Chico, so we got a win for Ernesto Rivera's Checo, and we got a win for Chico today as well. Turner Brown, this kid, has had an unbelievable second half to 2023. Last year, again, in his swan song in Mini Swift, won on the racetrack, lost it in the penalty room, unfortunately, but it was a hard-fought win. Then again, here this morning, crosses the line for SKUSA Junior, ultimately ends up on the podium, but off the win. And now, as we send it down to Rob Howden here for the podium, let's give it up, folks. Your top 5 at X30 Junior are coming your way.
Much, Xander. We get things underway here. Obviously, a little bit upset moving things around in terms of what happened on track. But the driver, P5 today in X30 Junior, Sasha von Podbosh in the 5th position. So Sasha, head on over. Quick little handshake and grab yourself a trophy. Sasha put on a show here for TV Kart and Race Lab, and he was tremendous in that race. So much fun to watch him work his way up. Finishing in spot number 798, Oliver Weldon. Weldon, P4. Great job for Oliver working his way up. Fast lap of the race. We saw him working his way forward the time. Finishing in 3rd, number 797, Diego Ardiles. Ardiles coming home in 3rd spot. What a race it was up front, no doubt about it. We've seen a lot of great drivers from Australia come over here to the SuperNationals. This is one of them as well. Finishing in 2nd today, number 792, Brody Yendel. Yendel in 2nd. But again, obviously in the interview we talked about Turner Brown and what happened last year in the win. He gets the victory as well in the KA100 Junior. He's got one here as well. Back-to-back races at X30 here as well. Give it up, folks. The winner today, Turner Brown. KA100 Junior win, X30 Junior win, coming back after the disappointment from 2022. What a drive for him, and we've seen that before. Jeremy Fletcher sweeping both of the categories. That is a difficult task to be able to win both against the level of talent that we have in these fields. But again, Turner Brown was right in the middle of that fight there. He got it. I don't want to say even got to be lucky, because right where he needed to be. The contact happened down in turn number 3, and a perfectly timed late apex over-under. Keep the guys over to turn number 4. That is to take a full usage of the opportunity, and an incredible job for him to be able to get that victory. Brody Yendel, of course, he and Ardiles were right there throughout the majority of the race as well. Oliver Weldon was a driver we were watching coming from the tail, and then wrapping it all up with Sasha von Podbosh. That wraps things up down here. And again, 2 wins on the day. Turner Brown from Speed Concepts Racing, the winner in X Junior.
Man, what a performance here for Turner Brown. And we just got word up here, Mike, as well, that the earlier win penalty did get overturned. Turner Brown is a double SuperNats winner. He's done for the day. Spray him down, boys. It's a champagne shower for your double Junior SuperNationals champion, Turner Brown. And man, oh man, what a race here to pull that one off to cap off the weekend. He's going to spread the love. There's Oliver Weldon on the JC Kart and Gainbridge Hot Wheels LN Kart as well. And again, just an awesome performance here for the X30 Juniors. The racing just gets better and better and better all the way through. We'll wrap up X30 Junior when we come back. We've got 3 more coming your way. It's time for the crazy old men to bang some gears. Master Shifter is coming up next from Las Vegas.